it's horizontal, it's normal.
Exactly. So how you been, man? We haven't talked to you in forever.
um, just school and work and about 50 different people who message me every day asking for help with different problems. The GSN has been an overwhelming success, but it's taking all of my time.
Uh, the same kind of problems, not so much with like people looking for help, but like it takes over your life, man. These online groups and stuff. When I used to do the blogging, like I would 20 hours a week spending on that stuff. It's amazing how much time it takes up. Now I got a daughter. Yeah, I'm not gonna spend that much time. I
The
just
worst the worst of it is that people think I'm a couples counselor, and I'm fucking
oh,
not a couples counselor. It's not something I know at all. So I basically just direct them to other channels that know a lot more Thurman trees, that kind of thing. But yeah,
that's they don't you don't give them the Dr. Phil solution.
I know I don't talk about things I don't understand very well.
You
The
did.
worst of it is actually I'm on the phone day in and day out with professional counselors, like therapists and shit. The last thing that someone who just came out to their family as an atheist needs is to be rejected by a therapist because they're an atheist.
Um,
And so I do prep calls. It's one of the services that I offer to people who need a therapist, so they don't have to face rejection at the hands of that as well. So it's that I get rejected, and that actually happens more often than you might think. So it's really weird.
It's not a surprise where you are
Yeah.
from such some of the intensity of some of the small communities that you're in. I mean, I never realized how intense it was until we started doing the show together.
Yeah.
That neighborhood is tough, man.
Yeah.
Like blew me away. And I've
Although it's
never
really,
been in that.
yeah. Well, it's really actually a lot better than you might think. One of the cool things about it is that I've gotten to know a lot of atheists locally that I wouldn't have met otherwise.
Well, yeah, yeah. Aside from like dodging bottles when you're walking down the street.
That's only happened a few times. It's not that bad.
Okay. Well, it sounded like it was bad when we talked every week, and you were like,
Oh,
"Dude,
man.
I don't
Oh,
know if
man.
I can be on the show this week because I might have to wear makeup." Like, are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Oh, yeah. Getting jumped always sucks. Tend to stay away from the local bars. You know, odds are pretty good. Someone has come across something that I've done online that's pissed him off.
Hey,
I always pull the
you.
Bill Hicks. I always pull the Bill Hicks. I, I love Jesus and I don't like what you said. Forget. I don't know what else to tell you.
Bill Hicks is so great. I missed him.
Oh, me too, man. So, what all? How do you guys want to do the show? The Big Bangs.
Well, first off, I can't grow mine out that far like you got going on. Basically, I mean, the same way when I read it, I started yelling at it. I'll put together a couple of points, but in most cases, everything he goes with is he either takes a slippery slope down to La La Land, or he just makes the assumption based on no presumptions at all. Like like a presuppositional apologist has
Mhm.
a place that they start with for his final conclusion that if all these things are too complicated, then God, that there's no basis for your conclusion. You're
Yeah.
just saying, well, it's too complicated, therefore it has to be. Like, well, there's a bunch of other things it could be too, like the magic unicorn and all that stuff. But just to land on your special, the one that appeases you,
so
not that hard to break up.
yeah, and so we could do one of two things. I can actually play the audio while we listen to it if we want. I can
Mhm.
do that if you want to do that, or we can pretend to play the audio and then just record and I can edit it. It's kind of up to everybody else how we do that.
It makes no difference to me. I'm down for whatever you guys want to do.
Well, first off,
You guys know better.
if we play the audio like while we're watching, one of the things about like Mystery Science 3 or 3000 is that they were doing movie-paced dialogue in most of those cases, which is relatively slow. But the amount of information that he's bouncing on in the 7-minute, 12-minute video, or whatever, like it's bang, 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 and like you need a second in between some of the major points. So I guess what we could do is we could either play and then create a pause section after a couple of points, address those points, and then go on. Because I don't think a commentary running along the video would work, because we would all just be screaming for 12 minutes. Like there's not enough time for us to actually get a thought together, because
Well, you can pause it, Hannah. That's the whole thing. So remember when we did the shit with the street preachers, the atheist street preachers? I don't know. Keith and Lindsay. I paused it halfway through. But when we did the podcast, I didn't have to, because I could just edit it in. But when I did the video cast and everything like that, I actually, like, when I did it with Atheist Analysis, I actually, like, played the video and then we paused it and talked over it.
Yeah, and so, I mean, that's fine, as long as we got a pause section so that you can address the few points, break them apart, and then move on to the next section of the video or something. That's fine.
I know a lot more about the sociological and biological stuff that he talks about than I know about the rest of it. Although I know that he got the number of years that he claims the universe is old wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
And I know that much. And I know that he uses a lot of religious imagery and stuff like that that'll be really easy to talk about, at least for me.
Mm-hmm.
But if you guys want to do it like a separation, do you want to do it like a conversation where we just chat with each other about what we're seeing, or do you want to make it like just us fucking joking around about what we're seeing, or what do you guys want to do with the show?
Well, personally, I would like to be somewhat serious, and maybe that's just the podcaster or whatever in me. I think I don't know. I
don't want to do this one like half-ass. Like if we got some of the viewers that he got, like I would like to break his fucking stupid little arguments in a million pieces. I was pissed off when I finally clicked and watched that video. I was at work and I was like machining stuff and I was like after I was done listening to it, I was so mad.
Well, if you guys want to do it like this, we can pause it and then you guys can in turn make your comments and each of the parts, and then I can go where we'll just kind of each of us say what we're noticing about each particular point, or we can each come into the situation where we sit down. We all have assigned arguments. That way, it seems more methodical. The way you're saying, Hannah, where it's we know exactly what we're talking about, and we come at it directly like that.
No. I think we should do the conversation side of it, where we just all
a serious conversation. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So you if you want to pick your points, and you can go, hey, this is we could talk beforehand. I'm okay with that. Like I'm okay with table talk, if you want to call it that. But when I
make an outline with each person's points, like here are my 3 points about that topic.
Don't sound so much like Hannah. Have you ever listened to him? You did a show with him. Have you ever actually listened to one of his rants? It's not a rant. It's I'm going to read a page of data to you for an hour, and you're going to like it and swallow it. And you're like, this is interesting only because I don't know about this shit. But in reality, this is really fucking boring because you're just reading off a piece of paper, motherfucker.
Well, it's all in how you deliver it. If you read it quickly, and if you're not like just bouncing over 1 or 2 words, like if you can get a good speed, if you read it a few times ahead of time, and you can hit it over with relatively quickly, and it feels relatively conversational as opposed to just stopping and reading and looking down at a piece of paper. Like I try to be a little bit more speedy and a little more, I guess, conversational when I do that. But we haven't done big, long, giant text blocks in a while. The last time we did it, or the next time we're going to do it, was gentrification. And I read that fucker like 10 times, and it's going to be halfway deep.
He did, but I just interrupt him now. I'm more of an asshole, I think, Joe, than you are. I just fucking interrupt this asshole. It's like, no, stop, don't, shut the fuck up. And I have the editing power on my side, so like when he goes off on a tangent, I can actually edit questions in there. He hasn't noticed. He's never called me out on this, but I actually have literally edited his stuff and like cut him off halfway through, and like edited myself in just talking to ask a question to break it up. He's never noticed this, and he listens to every episode.
I don't remember ever noticing that you did that, really.
That's how good I am, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. I just listened to it to see how the conversation and everything went. Like, if it does, I don't memorize it. A lot of times I'm like, man, I can't even remember what I said.
Well, re-listening to a broadcast is a good way to teach yourself how to talk better, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of pressure for people doing this to sound reasonable, sound intelligent, and you go back and you go into your old videos and you listen to the way you delivered it, and it teaches you to be more eloquent and to deliver the message faster too. So
you become conscious of all of your vocal crutches, ahs, and things like that. I've been trying, obviously, to get better at it. I say something, Tanner, after almost every time anybody says anything, he says, yeah.
I know, I edit that out too. I do. I edit that out. I catch myself because I can see it in my final cut. So like all of a sudden you'll be talking and then there'll be a space, and then you'll see a little blip on the screen, and then it'll go. And so I literally cut the yas out of my dialogue all the time. Like that, I do that. Like I cut them all out because I can edit this shit now. Whereas with atheist analysis, I had to pay attention. I don't have to pay as much attention.
Well, when I did my coming out video with Atheist Analysis, the talking about Mormonism video, I must have listened to that video about 1,000 times. I downloaded it onto my computer so that I could, because I was so fucking nervous talking about that shit. I was too. I was fucking just nervous out of my mind because I was basically telling my family, because they were watching, that I was an atheist for the first time ever. And
I didn't know they were watching too. I just knew that. I mean, you were green as far as internet videos are concerned, but you came off linguistic and you explained yourself quite well. That was the important thing. You had enough classes where you had to speak, and so you didn't like, but I know God. But
I was so nervous. And so like every single time the sound cuts in that, I'm sitting there wondering how much of a piece of shit I sound like, because it just goes, it comes in and out, goes in and out, goes in and out. And some of the other things that I ended up talking about, just, I don't know. It was a really nerve-wracking experience, and it didn't sound anywhere near as nice as I would have liked it to. So.
Well, and the nice thing about that video though is that it was a really raw and honest like conversation though.
And sometimes those are better. Sometimes those are better.
You got to think this to a point. That was your coming out, right? And the whole thing was literally very raw. There was a lot of emotion involved, and so I have a video, and we'll release it on Atheist. We'll release
I did that earlier too.
Skeptics. Just the one I edited with that, and I'll get rid of the stupid Atheist Analysis logos and shit, and I'm gonna repost it because I actually edited you together. I did that, and I pulled all of that together. I edited all those ums and ahs and those dead silences, and I put it all together, and you sound like amazing.
Oh well, thanks.
You should join the speaking circuit, or you should write a book. Maybe you should write a fucking book, and then you could come on the podcast.
I'm working on a book.
I know you're working on a book. You were working on a book when we did the show together, and I've been waiting for you to be like, I finished it, man.
I'm still working on Apostate. It's the hardest thing I've ever talked about. I just had this interview just a week ago with a young woman who survived an FLDS childhood. She grew up. She was married to her uncle when she was like 11 or 12 years old.
Oh, I just threw up my mouth a little.
Yeah, and so like I've been talking to her. When I come out with this book, I want to have covered all of my bases. There's another LDS church where it has basically all the same rules and stuff like that as the Mormon church, except they don't have the word of wisdom. So you have a church filled with people smoking cigarettes and drinking beer. That's just one example. I want to cover all of that stuff.
It's weird. It's weird that actually sounds better, but it's not at the same time.
They still got a prophet interpreting the word for you.
Yeah, I know, but they're like, oh, we're gonna trade. We're gonna trade no caffeine, no nicotine, and no alcohol, but we're gonna trade it for your cousins and, and nieces and nephews.
It's mainstream Mormonism, by and large, doesn't practice that kind of shit anymore. But it's man, there's so much to criticize. This just
so is it like Big Love? Have you ever seen Big Love?
Yeah, but it's not like that.
Big Love is not at all.
Big Love is a FLDS side sect, or one of the more reintegrated Amish sects, basically. Mormons have their own version of the Amish, and every once in a while, members of that group will either be cast out of it, and they'll come as a family, or they'll the group itself will mature and kind of re-enter society. And when that happens, you get things like that show where he's got 3 or 4 wives or whatever it is, and yeah, there are little neighborhoods now, especially in Ogden and in other parts of Utah, which they're kind of big, kind of sub communities where you have a lot of housing areas with open space when there's nothing but housing for miles. Areas like that are havens for these little communities where it's one man living between 4 houses, and all 4 houses are residents to his wife and their children.
So hold on. So that's a real thing, though, right?
That's a real thing, but it's not mainstream Mormonism, is what I'm getting. Mainstream Mormonism doesn't practice that anymore.
Well, yeah, because if you look at it, even that show, basically the Mormons shunned him, like he was an outcast in the Mormon.
Yeah.
Even though he was very, I don't know, I guess he wasn't popular, but he was very profitable, right? He was very business savvy. He did very well for himself.
Yeah. Well, remember that Mormonism has a sitting prophet, and so if he says that you're out, whatever it is thing that you're practicing, you're out. It's the reason that homosexuals are treated so poorly, and why they'll never be treated any better. As long as
it's also why the African Americans were eventually allowed in.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I mean, they're just like, oh, well, we rechanneled it, and we turned it to Channel 4 this time. Guess what? Guess what? The picture got better on our Nintendo when we decided to let black people into our fucking club.
It was no longer white and gray. It was now white, gray, and black.
And they also decided that the children of homosexual couples can't be members of the church either.
Yep.
Which is a bizarre thing for them to be doing for a lot of reasons. But the strangest part about that is that it's going to almost certainly result in far fewer younger people being members of the church. Now, these people, the primary reason why young people leave the LDS church is very, very simple. I know a gay kid. So now they're going to add to it, I know a gay kid, or I know a kid who's perfectly normal and very nice to me, and my friend whose parents are gay. And
these are not bad things. There's a history of the church in different churches. Like, this isn't just LDS, but just churches in general doing things that are against their best interests. Daniel Dennett talks about the evolution of church and the fact that they resist evolution. They have to change with the times, and if they don't change, they're left to the dustbin of history. This is a great example of that. The church itself is shooting itself in the foot that it cannot gather new people. You can't deal specifically with just blood lineage. It'll never last forever. Like that is not something that's consistent enough. You have to actually gain new people from new tribes and cults and clubs or whatever. And this is a great example of it's not going to add to itself. Like you said, it's going to reduce in the long run.
Okay, we have to go back to the whole Big Love thing, because I'm amazed here right now. Like this.
I don't know what Big Love is.
I know, because you're a loser, but. I think you're breaking up.
Joe, you're echoing really bad. I'm guessing the wind has increased in your neighborhood.
It does. It's all the damn snow. The snow's on his lines. It's like weighing down.
That was one of the toughest things with the podcast. A couple times, like, we'd be in mid conversation, mid show, and he would just poof, disappear. It's like, motherfucker.
Where'd he go? It's like a magician, right?
Well, one of the episodes is one of the episodes where, like, we used to transfer back and forth. That he would be the lead and I would be just support. So he had the most of the research. He made an outline, and we would go basically the way I like to do stuff. We would bounce back and forth, but he was holding most of the science and the psychology aspect. Then he disappeared, and so I am stuck here with an entire outline of stuff that I know sort of, maybe a little, and I would just kind of work through it, and then be like, well, if Joe ever comes back. It was the worst 45 minutes of my life when it comes to podcasting or the show. It was brutal. And I was like, well, I guess it's over because the outline's done. I guess I'll see you guys next week. It sucked. It sucked so bad.
We had that with Johnny, too. Like, I would have to, he would just disappear. And then I'd have to take over and be like, oh, that's actually somewhat how I became the host. Was because some fucked up shit happened a couple of times, and then I had to take over for him while he was doing something. Like, one time he was in an argument with his wife, And he was like, I'm not going to host a show. You have to do it. It's like, I don't know how to do this. What the fuck? This is all new to me. Oh my God. The stress. God, this whiskey is so fucking good. Oh my God. I'll be so hungover tomorrow.
It happens.
Which I should probably stop drinking straight whiskey.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's the biggest thing. Like, what's that?
That's how much I've had tonight.
That's good. That's a good night.
Almost a half bottle.
Yeah.
My son, how about this? My son's old enough to lecture me on how much I spend on alcohol.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was like, "Hey, you know that cost you $26, Dad." Yeah, I know. He's like, "You know that's a lot of money, isn't it?" Yep.
It's like smoking and all that kind of stuff.
But yeah, fuck you, little shit. You're right. It is a lot of fucking money, asshole.
I work for this goddamn money. What do you do?
Well, it is. And yeah, he wants me to put him in fucking goddamn band, right? He wants me to do marching band. You know how much that shit costs? Over $2,000 fucking dollars.
Wait, for what?
Marching band. My kid wants me to pay for his ass in marching band, and then even that, right? Hold on. And so he's been bitching at me to get a cell phone, and I won't buy him a nice cell phone because I'm cheap. I'm fucking cheap. I'll just admit it. I'm fucking cheap as hell.
Me too.
And so his grandmother bought him this little flip phone. And so, I called AT&T, and they're like, "Oh yeah, $10. Don't worry about it. You got to come in, bring it in." So I bring it in. They want $25 fucking dollars a month to put a flip phone on my account. $25 a month. And so, I was like, fuck that shit. So I went phone shopping. I went to Sprint. I went to Verizon, yada, yada, yada. I'm on my way home. I go to pick him up from school. And he goes, "Oh, did you get my phone activated?" I was like, "No, it's not $10 a month anymore. It's like 25." It's like, "Oh, cool. Did you get it activated?" And I said, no, because I'm not going to pay $25 a month for your fucking phone. And he was like, "Well, why not?" And I was like,
you tell him, it's like, "Hey, dude,
money." And he's like, "Well, that's only 1 hour of your pay, Dad. You should be able to afford that."
Yeah, tell him, say, "Hey, how about you give me $100 every month, and then it's $25 a month. So give me $100 every 4 months, and I mean, what is that? That's like $7 a week."
So I was like, I did tell him that. I was like, "Why don't you pay for it?" And he's like, "Well, I don't have an income." I was like, "Well, didn't I tell you to go down to Frank's? There's a burger shop down the street that hires underage kids."
Yeah.
They do. I know it. Because I've seen them there before. And that's fine. So I told him to go get hired.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, okay." He had a week off for spring break. He didn't do shit. Nothing. He didn't go down there. Go walk down there. Have it. Well, what if they say no? Then tell them, "When can I come back?" Ask them that question. They're not going to say no. You're cheap fucking labor, dude. Like, they're going to be like, "Oh, yeah, you can do this. Oh, you're going to work on Saturday? Oh, I don't have to pay you a premium?" I mean, come on, dude. So I told him. So that's what I told him. I was like, "Yeah, sure, you pay $25 and I'll get you a phone right now." Well,
yeah, dude, that's $7 a week. You mean to tell me that at 16, is that what he is, 16?
He'll be 14 in July.
14. At 14, I could scratch up $7 a week when I was 14 years old. Lawn mowing, doing something.
$1 a week at that age.
Yeah,
that's not that tough. I was selling coke.
I didn't do none of that shit. And I did lawnmower stuff when I was younger, and I was about that age. My father owned a business, so I was like, I'll mow the lawn at the shop, I'll sweep the floors, I'll clean, whatever.
Yeah, same here. My uncle and my grandfather owned a remanufacturing cartridge business. I used to get paid $5 an hour to remanufacture cartridges and refill inkjets. It was super easy fucking work. Literally, like dildo. And anyway, so I got paid the same thing. I got paid $5 an hour. I was like 13 years old, paid $5 an hour. I used to go hang out with my grandparents and my uncle all summer long. You know how much shit I got to do that I never would have got to do at home because nobody was around to pay attention to me? A lot.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
I got paid $5 an hour for 8 hours a day. My grandpa was giving me $40 a day. Like, how do you pass that up?
Fuck, dude. Think about that now. Yeah, for $40 a day.
That would suck dick.
I know, but like, think about being like a 15, 16, 17-year-old for $40 a day. You could live a decent life, man. You could have a car, you could have fucking gas, you could have all kinds of cool shit.
Well, yeah, and that's what I keep telling them. I was like, my parents didn't buy me a car. I told them I paid cash for my first car. I did. I paid $925 for my first car.
What was it?
I had an '89 Ford Escort without a front bumper, stick shift, white hatchback.
That's fucking great. My first vehicle was I think it was an '89 too. It was a Dodge Ram 150 pickup truck. Just a piece of shit, man. It was bad. But it was a little rusty on the fender wells, but it's just a little pickup truck. I love that fucking thing. And then I had a Ford Tempo. That was
Yeah, my car didn't have a front bumper, so what happened was I used to fuck with the cops because I was an asshole, and I was a dumb fucking kid. And one time I was driving by in Hudsonville, and there was this cop pulled somebody over, and I really yelled out, "Hey, fuck you, pig! You fucking fuck!" And the cop left that and pulled me over, and he's like, you know what you said to me?" And I was like, "Nah, I don't remember that." And he's like, You really don't remember what you said to me? And my buddy's in the back seat. My buddy's like, "Yeah, you told him to go fuck himself." And I was like, "God damn you piece of shit!" And the cop's like, "Did you say that?" And I was like, "No, I think he just heard wrong." And the cop's like, "I'll be right back." And so he goes and he leaves and he comes back and he ran my license and he came and he's like, "You're lucky. I got another phone call right now and I have to leave. Otherwise, you get a ticket and go to jail. Stop telling cops to go fuck themselves." And he walks next to his cruiser and takes off. And I was like 17. And I turn around and I look at my buddy. I was like, "Hey, you piece of shit. What the fuck is wrong with you?" He's like, "Oh, we're sober. Who cares?" And I was like, "Yeah, but dude, I don't need to go to jail because I told some cop to go fuck himself." Like, God damn it. What the hell? Why would you say that? I had cigarettes on me, back in the day.
Yeah, when you're 17, you're not. Dude, like, I get, like, pissing, fuck off with the cops and stuff, and it's kind of stupid they can just, like, totally go balls out on someone for saying fuck you here, whatever, freedom of speech or whatever. But I mean, I don't know, it's still kind of stupid to just yell fuck you to the cops when you're driving by.
You want to know some other crazy shit? Here's Chris's confession hour. He tells you all the shit you should never know about him. But
this is going on live on fucking YouTube apparently.
With no viewers, so we're okay. I can edit it down or never publish the audio. It's just easier than trying to record it. So
yeah.
So you want to hear pick a type of story you want to hear about, and I probably have it. Tell me what type of story you want to hear.
Well, I don't really want to hear about a domestic abuse, but I'll throw that one at you and see if you guys fucking something coming around for beating on ladies.
No, I don't have one where I beat on a lady. I do have one where I was at a party, and I came downstairs, and there's this dude, and there was a girl in the corner, and she was on all fours, and she was cowering, and this dude was standing over screaming at her. And so I was shit-faced and didn't know what the fuck was going on. And I walked over, and I was like, "Hey, dude, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you, but she obviously don't like what the fuck you're doing." And he's like, "You go fucking mind your own business." And I was like, "No, you need to leave her the fuck alone." "Well, it's my girlfriend. I can do what the fuck I want with her." And I was like, "All right, well, this ain't your house, and I'm going to claim this basement as Christopia," or I said some shit like that, "and I'm going to beat the fuck out of you." And he's like, "You're going to really beat the fuck out of me?" And he punched me in the face and knocked me out up on the floor. And I was like, I didn't know where either of them went. I didn't see them. They must have at least left because they were not at the party. And I went back upstairs and pretended nothing happened.
That's fucking brutal. You've been punched and knocked out. Like, you got a punch to your face. You didn't see it coming, and you were just fucking sleeping for a period of time.
I was shit-faced. That's not the only time I've been punched. I went to my buddy Joe, it was his birthday, and we went to a Guar concert at the intersection.
I was probably there.
Yeah, you could have been. You might have been.
Know, I probably was. I've been to just about every Guar concert that's been in Grand Rapids since the last at least 8 years.
Well, all I remember is I wasn't having a good day, and that was when I was working for the really bad company. So I was having a that company was really bad for me, and I drank a lot of alcohol. And so we were out for my buddy's birthday, and we just kept buying shots, and we were doing tequila shots and Jaeger bombs, and I don't know, we were doing all sorts of crazy shit. And then I was drinking on top of that, and I guess I picked a fight with some guy at the bar. I don't remember this. I just that I picked a fight with somebody, and he talked the guy down. So then I went in the mosh pit after that, profusely drunk, and proceeded to get drunker from sweating it all out. And next thing you know, I wake up on the ground. I'm like, literally, I wake up looking up at the ceiling in the intersection, and I wake up and I was like, holy shit! I couldn't find my glasses, and so I'm not blind, like I can see, but the glasses just clarify things. And so I'm walking around like, oh shit, I can't really see. I was like, maybe I'm really wasted. Well, I finally find my buddy, and he's like walking me out, and I guess I'm pissed. Like, I'm super pissed I couldn't find my glasses. And I didn't realize at the time somebody had knocked me out, but somebody had, obviously. And I guess I chased some kid out to his car, and his like mom picked him up, and I'm like yelling at some underage kid, like, you fucking took my glasses, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna slit your fucking throat, you piece of shit. And he's like, no, sir, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Wait, so this is after you got knocked out? You chased somebody out of the building?
Yeah, I chased somebody out of the building all the way down the street to where they were parked with their mom. I'm assuming it's their mom.
Fuck you and your mom.
So yeah, I don't know who it was. And then my buddy Joe dragged me away, and then we're standing in the back because we wanted to meet the band. And I didn't care. I just wanted my glass. I was just pissed that I lost a $300 pair of glasses. It'd be like if somebody knocked you out and took your hearing aid. You'd be like, holy shit, there's like thousands of dollars out of my head.
Yeah, that'd be $3,500
for one.
For 2 hearing aids.
Okay, so $1,750 for one. So yeah, it'd be like if you lost $1,750. Like, that's how freaked out.
You lost one eye.
No, I lost.
Yeah, so you lose one set of glasses. You lose two hearing aids. You lose $3,500, son.
I know. I get you can trump on the it costs more.
It sucks as fuck. Like, I don't understand why it's so much more expensive, but like it's just insane. My next pair is going to cost me $5,000, and I got to pay for it. It's not an insurance or anything.
Oh, I bet. And so I guess we went back, and my buddy Joe, we knew people that worked at the intersection. We still do, but
yeah, so do I.
We knew somebody, and they let my buddy Joe in to go search the grounds. And my buddy Joe's like walking around the whole fucking intersection looking for my glasses, and he brings this bag of trash out. He brings a whole bag. He's like, hey, dude, I think your glasses are in here. I was like, dude, if they're in there, they're probably junk. And he's like, we're going to go through this. And he like dumps the whole bag out on the ground. And they're like, hey, you guys can't do this. What are you doing? Why are you guys dumping trash out on the ground? And then they kicked us down the road. And I was just like, whatever, fuck it. But the best part was I had to go to work, not the next day, but that Monday. And I go to work, and I got a black eye. Like, I got a full-on black fucking eye. Like, you can't miss it. And I don't have my glasses, and so there's no distraction from it. And so I had to go to work, and the owner of the company, I was out by the furnace, and the other company comes out, and he's talking with me, and he asks me some questions, and then he's like, hey, can I show you something? And he shows me and trains me on something. And then he goes, what's kind of funny? And I was like, what? He's like, your eye doesn't look right. I was like, oh, yeah. Well, what happened? Are you okay? Oh, yeah, I'm okay. Don't worry about it. He's like, no, seriously, what happened? Anything I can do to help you? I was like, I fell down the stairs and hit my eye in the banister. And he's like, oh, yeah, you did? And he goes, hey, Chris, I've been out drinking with you. Do you really expect me to believe that you hit your eye in the banister? And I was like, yeah, okay. I got hit at a Guar concert and knocked out. And he just starts laughing. And this dude's like 6'4", 230 pounds, 280 pounds.
Like, no, nobody knocking me out, yeah.
And this dude's a big ass motherfucker. And he's just laughing, and he's in his dress shirt and his tie and his fucking suit coat. This is a multi-millionaire motherfucker. And he's just laughing and laughing and laughing. He's like, you could tell me if you get hit. It's okay. He's like, just at least
pretty funny.
Admitted to it. I was like, I don't want to lose my job.
The only time I ever got hit where anything went down, like I got punched in the nose at Ozfest watching. No, Slipknot was the headliner at second stage, so Hatebreed was on right before Slipknot, and I was just freaking out, full jumpsuit, mask on, got punched in the face by some guy, and I don't I couldn't see anything, and the fucking dude was like screaming in my face. I climbed on him, tackled him, and I was like punching like down, and it was like punch, punch, crunch, crunch, smush, smush, just a mess. And like people pulled it apart or whatever, and like I had to go and like I went down to like wherever the medical station was to get my blood just spraying out of my nose. And I finally got it all. Like I got plugs put in there and put my nose back together, and like they drag this guy in, and lay him down on the bed, like on one of the like tables, and he's all like mushed up. His face is fucking mangled, and it's just like the guy that punched me in the face. And I turned around and just wailed on him. And so like my nose is, you can see my nose has got a big fucking hump right in the middle. I've broken it a couple of times from wrestling and from just fighting in general, but like at Ozfest, I got a square one straight in the center of my nose and just exploded, blood everywhere. I got blood all over everything I had on, like. But like I saw them, they drugged the dude in and threw him on a bed, and I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here before the police show up. And I just took off and ran, and that's like the last major fight I was in besides like fighting someone. I fist fought a kid that was like twice my size in elementary school, and like I ended up like stabbing him with a stick because I was like 300 pounds. He was like on top of me. But I mean, I like bar fights and stuff. Even when I went all over the place and fought all the time or like drank all the time in public, I never got into bar fights. I was too small. Nobody got on my shit, so I got around lucky, I guess, with that.
Yeah. Well, I had a friend. My buddy Jake was kind of short and small, but he was a scrappy ass motherfucker, man.
There's a thing, small dude syndrome, small man syndrome, where like the little guys like constantly gotta like reinforce the fact that they're tough. And then like I'm not a big dude, but I'm not small anymore. Like 5'9" isn't a decent size. And like, but a friend of mine was like 5'3", 5'4", and he was always just like so adamant about proving that he was all that is man. I was like, I get it, dude. I get it. But like it's kind of annoying. Like I'll fight if it's necessary, but I'm not looking for it. Like some people go out looking for it, and like the giant dudes that go out looking for it, it's like, dude, I don't want anything to do with it. You can go ahead and go away. Like I had a T-shirt that said Jesus was wrong on it, and this giant fucking massive dude followed me out of a concert. I was just going to piss, and he's like, "What the fuck's your shirt saying, man? What the fuck?" And I was like, I'm entitled to an opinion, man. Why are you so mad at my shirt? And like I tried to just talk this guy down before like, finally like 3 or 4 bouncers came out of nowhere, and they're like, what the fuck's your problem, dude? This guy's like a quarter of your size. This guy was freaking out on me. That was at the intersection. Or no, that was the orbit room.
That's crazy.
I know. I was just like, I get it. But really, that's you're gonna fight me because my T-shirt says Jesus was wrong? That's the reason like a giant dude's gonna attack a small person?
Yeah, you're at a concert where probably 50% of the people are atheists or
No,
not.
I know it's a metal show. I mean, it was a legit metal show, and like, I don't remember who was headlining, but like, I was just like, that's that. The guy's just like, I don't know. It was the fucking bouncer saved my ass at that show, no question. That guy could have cleaned my face up. No, he was huge. He was fucking massive. Like,
Yeah.
he would have been like a football player in like a D1 school. He was massive.
Crazy.
I'm gonna pour another. Are you gonna hang out for another few minutes? I'm gonna pour another quick drink.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get ice if you're gonna do that. Yeah, my wife went to bed like after we ended. Oh, you're not even listening. You just disappeared. My God.
You still talk to that Chris Shelton guy at all?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot of activity on his pages, and I just talk to him from time to time, just linking to stuff and whatever. I got one of the nights when I was absolutely ripped. We were like shooting the shit. He must have been drinking too. We were like telling all these fucking like crazy ass jokes and stuff. It was fun as hell. But like the guy's a lot of fun. Like I don't know. I was surprised. He seemed really serious when we talked to him. So I was like, man, I wonder if he's fun at all. And he's got some pretty lighthearted shit. It was a good time.
You did a Google.
Hmm.
Are you smoking?
No, my glass is full. I had like kind of keep like pouring all over me.
We go. I should never have done that on there.
But I know.
But I can delete it because I'll probably get to it before you do.
No,
Look how amazing my camera is. Look how it's picking up my hand. It's ignoring everything in the background and it's focusing on my hand.
Well, the feed that I'm getting is just nothing special compared to like what you normally get.
That's because you have a shitty computer and I have a high definition computer.
Yeah, well, you're gonna get the feed on your line because my feed is in 1080p or 720p on my end.
It's a cannonball.
Oh, well, you're gonna do it, aren't you?
Cannonball live on camera.
I didn't see too much smoke. That's impressive.
It's because I got good weed. That's why.
Now that would be something that's like a legit thing, like good weed versus like weed. Like there's really a difference. Like it's like if you're drinking like shit whiskey versus good whiskey, like it still has an alcohol content. The morning after, you feel like fucking garbage. But like good weed versus shitty weed, even if it's like the same kind of THC content, like makes a difference, or is it?
Oh yes, 100%. And
so you still get the same amount of high, but it just tastes better, or what?
Well, it feels different. It's a completely different feel. Like so dirt weed feels like sluggish, like somebody put a sack over your head by the river, compared to some of the stuff I smoke that makes you want to record a podcast at 12:30 at night because your wife went to bed and has no interest in hanging out with you because she's asleep and you're bored. And so instead of going and playing video games, you're hanging out with some dude on the internet because you're stoned as shit. And that's what it's like. My hand looks amazing. And
that must be some good stuff. Look at my fucking fingers, man.
I got a 1080p camera. It's like high resolution, hand verbiage. Look at those lines.
The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Yes, exactly. But no, it is. Oh, okay. In all seriousness, though, if like we were to be serious for a second here, there's a different feel to it than you get with dirt weed. And like I can actually tell how old weed is roughly. Like I can't tell you by the day, but I could actually tell you roughly, probably by the month or two, how old it is. And I can tell you, roughly the THC content, and I can usually tell you if it's a sativa or an indica, or if
that's something that I would always assume that people that smoke on a regular basis would be able to tell, because those highs, the way they describe them scientifically, are completely different. And so, like, I know they blend between indicas and sativas, but like a pure sativa and a pure indica, and you're like poof one night, poof the other night, like that's a completely different thing. Like your body high versus a head high, but your body doesn't feel sluggish at all. Like that's legit. Like you can really tell that difference.
Yes,
That's cool.
Different in the afterwards, like the next day, is not contingent on how good it is or how shitty it is, but usually in how much you consume. So if it's really good and it has a high THC content, if you consume the same amount you would with a low THC content, you will feel hungover the next day. Like it's a fact.
So there is an actual weed hangover?
In some essence, yes.
Is it like because you just stay awake and goof off and be stupid, or is it because from directly? That's my problem. Like if I drink up and have a good time, like goof off or whatever, it's like the next thing you know, it's like 2:30. I'm like, I'll go to bed. Fuck it, whatever. And then it's like, oh man, I should have gone to bed an hour to 2 hours before I did. So I feel shitty more because I didn't sleep than because of the booze.
You get both of it. But the shittiness from the sleep is more like the normal type of you stayed up all night being sober. You don't get the same type of hangover. Like if I drink, so it's 12:30 now. If we drink till 3 a.m. on here, so let's say we recorded for 3 hours, and I drank for the whole time and drank 3/4 of a bottle of whiskey. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to feel like complete shit. If I sit here and smoke the whole time, I won't feel the same way. It's a different type of hangover, but you do get some sort of a hangover in some way, shape, or form. It's just more easily broken.
Yeah, so like that's the big thing that I'm interested in. It's like let's say marijuana is completely legalized in Michigan, so I could replace a nightcap with whatever, with marijuana brownies or whatever. It depends on if the vaporizers or something is something that's good enough that it won't like affect my lungs as much as standard smoking does. Like that would be awesome if I could circumvent any kind of hangover. Because like when I used to take sleeping medications, I used to take Ambien and I tried Trazodone. That stuff turns me into a fucking zombie. Like the whole next day, it's like mudding through molasses, just brutal.
Well, so went to the Roger Waters The Wall concert, smoked, ate half a brownie, smoked, ate the other half a brownie, said fuck it, I don't care, walked all the way in from fucking not the Greyhouse, the public bus station, because we parked in their parking lot because it was free, and walked to the Van Andel from there. I felt like I was gonna float off of the top tier, like just float down to the bottom. That's how fucked up I was. And but the best part is I woke up in the morning and I had a new job, right? So I couldn't skip work, and so I had a new job, and I went into work 6:30 in the morning, and so I got about 5 hours of sleep and went into work, and I felt really tired, and I felt good, like I felt like the day was going really good. I was like, yeah, this is kind of cool, this is a good day, This
5 hours of sleep is like, okay, I'm a little bit tired, but I can function on that.
But the worst was when I went to lunch. So there's a little diner at the store I was training at, and there's a diner across the street. Walked into the diner, started eating. Well, about halfway through the food, I was like, man, I don't feel as good as I did earlier. Oh, you know what? I think I was still high. I think I was high all morning. Like I didn't even know it. I had no clue. I couldn't figure out why everything was cool.
So that literally, you can sleep through a high, still wake up, and still have it going on.
The ones that I made, yes. Like
really?
Because so
yeah, I know you can extract a serious longevity from into the like vegetable oils or whatever when you make brownies. So
would your wife eat it?
She wouldn't eat it, but she wouldn't care. I mean, it'd be no different than.
But would she eat it though? Like if everybody else was, like if we said, "Hey, we're gonna have a little party."
I doubt it. I really do.
So what we should do is, your anniversary is coming up, next year for New Year's, and so if she won't eat it, but
coming up, it's April, dude.
Okay, fucking 8 months. I'm old. I plan shit in advance. Don't you plan shit in advance? Like I want to plan my New Year's Eve party out now. And I'm saying we don't have a party, but like we can go get hotel rooms, like, and shit, and we can go hang out, and we're rich enough that we could pay for Uber. We're not like rich, but like we make enough money we could pay for Uber, for fuck's sake, or a taxi or some shit. But we should do that. We should take the Weiss up north, and I'll make something for you and I.
Up north, what constitutes up north?
I would go to Escanaba, personally, or I don't know. Let's go the fuck up in the winter zone.
Because I was gonna say, like, I have 400 acres in Harrison, Michigan.
All right, let's go there.
We have a cabin. We have a cabin with 24 beds, 4 different rooms, 3 bunk beds in each room. The hunting cabin that we go to.
Okay. Can you put the beds together so that you don't sleep separately, though? That's all I care. I don't want to sleep by myself.
No. There's 3 bunk beds. There's 3 bunk beds in each room. So technically, we put you in a different room. You can have sex on 6 different beds.
All right. Well, that's for me. That's all I care is like, because if we're gonna go away, and I have I have tons of time off. Like I have like 2.5 weeks this year somehow.
No. Well, like up at the lodge, we have it's like a 2,200 square foot cabin, and we have 400 acres. It's about a square 3/4 of a mile, and there's 6 different landowners and 30 different lodge owners. But my father is a landowner and a lodge owner, and that's part of family inheritance and all that kind of stuff. And so like he's going to be transferring lodge ownership to me, and so like we're both basically owners in the property, and so I will be. I all I got to do is say, hey, I'm going up at this time, and you just go up. You just have to know a little ways in advance so you can schedule it.
We should do that because I bet Beth would do that. Because it would be you and your wife, and you could invite a few people, just not a lot.
No, we could invite the Paleo Radio crew up.
Yeah, so we could do just a few of us, and that would be fun. I'd kick in some money for that. Mm-hmm. And I got a portable grill, so I don't know if you have electricity or food heating in there.
I've got a church grill. I have a church oven there with like a giant. Dude, this place.
So we can make. Oh my god. Okay, so if you do this, I will buy a rib roast. Like I will buy an actual ribeye roast for this. I will cook you a ribeye roast. Yeah, I've wanted to do this for years now.
We have a flattened griddle that's I think 2 feet by 3 feet. We've got I think 12 burners, 2 ovens. It's a massive fucking. It's an oven. It's basically a cooking unit that came out of a church, and we bid on. It's massive.
Okay, so you need to talk to your dad and find out the best times, and I will take time off of work. I'm that serious. Like this far in advance, I can do this. And we
the best times for it are the spring and early summer. September, October, November are basically hunting season. And then around New Year's is tough to get because everybody likes to go up north and Michigan and around the holiday season, but it gets hot there in the summer. That's the only reason why spring is better than summer.
Well, I don't care. Literally, I just need a week notice for my work. So you say this and we'll figure something out. I could take whatever time off I need. Like for me, it doesn't matter.
That's cool. Yeah. And let's see, May 7th, Sarah and I are going, in Avaline, we're going to Chicago. But other than that, there's no real plans for any kind of vacation or something. So anytime that I'll talk to my old man and see what works. But I didn't have anything picked out or planned out for any other kind of vacation stuff.
I mean, we could go around Labor Day too, couldn't we? That's not hunting season.
When is Labor Day?
September 9th, usually, or 4th.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they do Labor Day stuff. I know Memorial Day, like there's usually somebody that's going up there, but Labor Day, I don't know. Like I know October. So. I know October is when bow hunting season starts, and that's usually when they're like nobody else go up there for that. But I don't know. We could aim for that. Maybe that'll work.
Yeah, so talk to your dad. Find out sometimes. I don't know. Just all you got to do is say, "Hey, can we go up this weekend?" I can take Friday or Monday off, no questions. Like there won't even be a question in what I do. Like I can do whatever the fuck I want at work for the most part.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, if you do that, like I think the wife would like that. Beth would like that. Because she could, because your wife, they're in the same boat. They don't care about the atheism thing, and
she's pretty laid back. She's quiet. She doesn't get too worked up about much. Like I know it's just basically she would be probably pretty intense not having the baby with her. So
does she like someone watch her? Like wine? Does your wife like wine?
Oh yeah, she loves wine.
Oh, so literally, we could literally drink. I have enough wine in my house to supply all of us for wine for a weekend. Like no, we don't even have to buy anything. That's how much wine I have on hand. Because I like wine too, but I don't drink a lot of it because I like whiskey better.
Well, we've got a bunch of stuff here. Like she's got stuff that she had when she was in Italy. She's got a couple of bottles from France, but like those usually stick around. But like we go tasting probably 2 or 3 times a year. When we go tasting, we buy 4 or 5 bottles. Like, like getting a couple bottles or whatever is not too much of an issue.
And my wife would like my wife's more of the let's find the intimate type, thing. She's not as big on the though you and your wife should come to the CFI thing this year, the summer retreat thing.
I'll see what she thinks, but like the solstice and stuff, she's just like, I don't know.
You don't have to tell her about a celebration. You just say, hey, let's go hang out with some people. Go hang out with the Bannisters and the Tanners. So,
well, I could possibly pull that off.
Yeah, because that would be the difference. I mean, you could come because the Bannisters will probably go, and we'll probably go. Last year I got sponsored, but this year I'll probably have to pay.
But, well, like when we went over to Jeremiah's house, like he was smoking, and she just does not like weed. I don't know. She had a couple of roommates that were just like one almost burned the house down because he was so high on weed that he couldn't fucking think to turn the fucking oven off, and a variety of other issues were like just bad experience with people who were smoking. She just has a negative response to it, and so like Jeremiah and Angela wasn't smoking, but Jeremiah was just smoking weed the whole time we were hanging out, and so like she just. I don't know. She just like that, like the negativity towards the weed stuff, and so it's just like it's like she'll do it and she'll go hang out or whatever. If I like, hey, we're gonna go do something, but in most cases she's just like, I don't know. She's not very social. I guess that's the best way to describe it. She's just like kind of like she's quiet. And she's not antisocial, but she's an artist. Like I don't know if you know too many people that are like artists or whatever. Like they're like,
yeah. I get it. Well, she would like my daughter. She should come hang out with my daughter because my daughter like draws things on everything. Like my whole house is filled with artwork.
Well, Sarah's photography more than drawing. So like her drive is like the capturing things that exist and like trying to change that, or like the way that it's seen. Like her like drawing abilities are. So she didn't like the classes. Like when you get an art degree, they call it a BFA. It's a bachelor's in fine arts, and you have to do two majors. And so you pick like photography and graphic design. You pick painting and drawing or whatever. Like you have to pick two things, and then you apply for the bachelor's in fine arts, and they give you you've been accepted. Now you can complete your bachelor's or whatever. And so like Sarah's two things were graphic design and photography, because the drawing and stuff is just not her deal. So like you have to figure out kind of like what your daughter likes. So like if she really loves like painting, drawing, and stuff like that, there's a bunch of different avenues she could take. But as far as like Sarah's expertise, the drawing, she probably couldn't help you out too much on that.
I don't need her to help me out. It's just a relationship thing.
Yeah. But she definitely had to take those classes and stuff in school.
Yeah. Well, so your wife's really that opposed to weed? I mean, okay, so how about this? When we went to the CFI thing, we shared a cabin with the Bannisters, and pretty much it was a pot fest from like Friday night to Sunday afternoon. But I don't know. I mean,
I know that. I know she doesn't like it. Like.
Will she care if we smoke weed? How about that? Because okay, I smoke weed all the time. Like
I know. So, like I think like. I guess her perspective would probably be like if everybody went up north, like so let's say the Bannisters, the Tanners, and us were all up there at the lodge. She would probably, if like everybody was smoking in the main room, and like it's just like really smoky, then she would probably be like, ugh. But I don't know. Like I know she just, if she's around it too much, she's like. She doesn't like it. I don't know.
But she can't just. Oh God,
I know. There's a few things that she is like she's really adamant about, and that's one of them.
What if you told her that it made me feel better? Like, what if you seriously? Like, I'm dead serious. Like, what if you said, like, seriously, it helps my arthritis? Like, I'm pretty sure I've not been diagnosed by a doctor because I'm pretty anti-pain medical people for their opinion. But from the research I've done, the research my wife's done, like, in my family history, I'm pretty sure I have arthritis. Like, I get the same symptoms as arthritis people. And like, there's certain days that it's like, that's why sometimes I'm like, hey, just don't come over, or can we record a different day? Because some days it's just really, really fucking bad, like really bad.
Well, yeah, she's not going to be like against anything like that, but really, what it is, just like if you're smoking and she's like right there, and she just has to breathe it in, she has to smell it.
You don't have to worry about that.
Well, that's what I mean. So like when she's around people that smoke or whatever, she's like, she doesn't want to be around smokers. And like weed would be the same way, like the same kind of thing. It's just like if it's over there a ways away and it smells a little bit or whatever, it's not too big of a deal. But like if we're all riding in a car, the windows are all up and just weed is being puffed. Well, I know, but that would be something where she would openly say, I don't want to be around it, and then reduce it a little bit to like at the lodge, like you're smoking inside, but maybe in just the rooms. Then she's like, whatever. But
yeah, so and that's fine as long as she can accept. I mean, a little bit. Like, I'm more of a dick when I'm sober than I am when I'm high. So I don't know what to say. Like, it's a fact. I'm a lot more peaceful and mellow and easy.
Most of us are. Most of us are, really. I mean, I've heard the idea that some people like it are angry drunks. Then like it amplifies their emotions or something. I have yet to meet one, really. Like, I guess maybe the person that when they're completely blackout drunk, they're like looking for fights. But just people that I know, friends or whatever, like we get mellow, goofy, and stupid when we get really fucking drunk.
Oh, you've never been to my house drunk then?
Yeah, you're an angry drunk.
I'm not. Well, sometimes. You want to see how awesome? Look at that.
That's pretty sparkly.
I'm talking. Shh. It's not focusing on the weed. It's focusing on my face.
It's focusing on your forehead glare. The grease.
It's not the grease. It's the baldness. But no, what were we talking? I don't even know what we were talking about.
How high you were when you were licking the crusty, shiny crystals off of your buds.
That never happens. So.
I don't know. I got about 10 minutes left in me before I got to get up and crash anyways. Apparently, Jen and Keith are awake and refusing to join up to the cool kids club here.
Yeah, I guess that's fuckers. I'm not even trying to bait them into like a show so we don't have to do it tomorrow. I don't know. I had nothing better to do, so I was like, oh, fuck it. This is like old atheist analysis shit. You just randomly stream live, like just like, hey, we're going to go live right now. We used to do that all the time.
I remember actually, like you guys used to like, we're going to go fucking live. Like Johnny would just like, we're having a random live hangout.
Yeah, he would. He'd be like, yeah, you want to go? He would message me sometimes and be like, hey, what are you doing? And I'll be like, I don't know. I'm hanging out. Well, I don't know. It's like, yeah, go upstairs and get on your computer. Let's do a show right now. I was like, no, we don't have anything planned. He'd be like, yeah, no, let's do a show right now. Come on, buddy.
Holy shit. PZ Myers just commenting on Ed Brayton's post.
Yeah, they used to be friends.
Yeah, well, Ed just posted a picture of a steak that he did, and it looks like he fucking destroyed it. I mean, he's like, it looked amazing, is what he said. I think it looks like he fucking destroyed it. And I said, I want to see Pink open that fucker up. And everybody else is asking for the same thing. And PZ Myers says, I've been a vegetarian too long. All I see is horrifyingly scorched flesh all over my eyes while you consume it. That's funny.
usually PZ Myers is an asshole, but
well, I know he is, but I just like seeing PZ Myers active on an Ed Braden post. It's just a few people looking at it. It's a surprise.
It's Jesus on the dashboard. But seriously, you should get this shit with your wife together. Now that we fucking talked about this for like an hour. We should plan a vacation, like a 5-day vacation. That'd be kind of cool. I'd like to get away from my kids for 5 days.
What do you do? What do you do with all your kids for 5 days? Who do you put them on?
I have enough relatives, so like I just bounce them from each side, and
so like one kid goes here, the other kid goes here, and the other kid goes here. No.
I sent them. Well, it depends. Like my older ones actually could go to friends' houses. So like if it's over winter break, my older ones will go to friends' houses. That's just what they'll do. But you got to remember, I have an ex-wife and an ex-mother-in-law. So I have a mother-in-law, and an ex-mother-in-law. I have 3 women that want to take. Well, they don't want to, but 3 women that will take care of my kids if needed. And so I don't know. We just say we're going to go away. Her mom's actually really good about it. Like her parents are well, her dad's passed now, but her parents were always really good about that. They accepted that we needed alone time, and her parents never questioned it. It was not like I didn't have to go to her dad and be like, "Hey, I want to take your daughter away for a couple hours or a couple nights so I can fuck her, so she can walk straight. Do you care? Can you watch the kids for me?" Yeah. I never had to do that shit.
Oh, I mean, Sarah's parents are pretty cool about stuff like that. My parents, obviously, they whatever you want us to watch the kids, that'd be awesome. But like, it's different with like one kid. But like, you got a platoon of people, man.
I have
like,
a gangle of kids. A gaggle. Sorry, a gaggle. I have a gaggle.
A gaggle. Yeah. So like, I mean that's the reason why I asked. Like, do you send them all just to one place? Like, okay, good luck, Grandma. And then like in a day and a half, okay, mother-in-law, good luck. Yeah. You can put your fucking helmet on because this shit's coming your fucking way. Like,
yeah, I do. I do. Yeah, I have. Depends. When I went with you to the atheist convention, I had one person watch all 4.
That's a brave person.
She was. They all are. Well, my mom had like 6 kids. There were 6 of us, and Beth's mom had 5. Well, 4. She had 4. So Beth's mom's really cool. She's nice, and she'll do it. She likes kids. She likes the kids. And Beth's mom really likes the grandkids. As long as I say I'll be home at this time, she's okay with it.
And you come at that time. You don't fucking like just bullshit.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. So like I learned at first, I used to tell her I'd be home by noon, and then I'd show up at 2, and she'd get really angry. And after a while, I was like, I'll be home at 4. I'd show up at 2. I'm a hero. Like, oh yeah, home. Like yeah, I didn't want to hang out too long with people. I came home, and in reality, I quit at noon, and then I went out to lunch with Jeremiah or some shit. Like, stop fucking your mic. Jesus.
My foot was getting caught on it. I was trying to figure out why the fuck it was moving.
Stop fucking the mic. Stop your dick in it. Stop being a little fuck. That's loud.
What, Mike kicking the mic, or you're fucking
my bolt I can't get the ashes to come out. No, with 4 kids, it's not that big a deal, dude.
I just assumed that like with 4 kids, like to sending them to one location was tough. So like maybe splitting them up, like DEFCON 1, take the left side. DEFCON 2, take the flank side.
We do. Yes, we do that though. Like my a lot of times my ex-wife will take the boys, and then the same thing when they go on vacation. Like my ex-wife just went on vacation with her new husband, and she called me and she's like, "Hey, do you want Monty for an extra couple days?" Well, yeah, sure. And sometimes she wants something in return, but for the most part, we're pretty even on time. And she doesn't bitch or do anything, and then we just trade. And so it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna take a couple extra days here, and then later on in the year, she'll be like, hey, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna go away. You want Monty? And she'll be like, oh yeah. And she's like, can I have James too? And I'll be like, yeah, sure. Yeah, just take them both, And they go dick off at, Diana don't pay attention. So they, they go play video games for 3 days, 4 days straight, and then they
for them it's an actual vacation too. They get to do the goofy shit they want to do.
Yeah, because Diane and them they'll take them out to eat. I don't do that, and they'll let them play video games for 20 hours on end. I don't do that. They'll let them eat pizza in the middle of the night. I don't do that. But
Grandpa and Grandma are awesome. Me.
No,
my grandparents are like, our great grandchildren will get everything they ever wanted, and I was like, you know what? As much as it's mean to say, I hope you're dead before she gets that old. They're like, oh no, you're so mean. Like it's. They said the different levels of spoiling. They said like parents are honest, grandparents spoil, and then great grandparents just throw money at children. I was like, don't. I mean, that sounds horrible. And my assumption is that they won't be that ridiculous. But my grandparents, my dad's parents, are the most religious of the group. So like, I don't know exactly what direction, because my grandfather Harry, my dad's foster father, has taken a significantly more religious turn towards any dealings with me. When it comes to anything, everything has but you don't believe in that, like significantly. And so there's going to be probably a couple of conversations coming up here in the near future where I'm going to be like, hey, you know what? You keep mentioning this. You know what? I'm going to come over and we'll have a nice conversation about all these things. And like, well, because really it needs to be isolated. It needs to be me ganged up by the two of my grandparents, so that they feel that they have the upper hand. Otherwise, they're not going to talk about this kind of stuff. And obviously, nobody else wants to talk about it too. And so, like, I can easily handle both of them. It's not a problem. But it's like my grandfather has been throwing much more of that stuff towards me. So it's like, no, we can talk, Grandpa. So we'll see. I'll give you an update. Or maybe it'll be an update or a show conversation in the future too, whenever it happens. I'm assuming it'll be in the next few months, because my uncle has passed away, and so my grandmother will be coming back from Canada, and they'll finally be back in this, because my grandmother's been in Canada taking care of my grandfather, or my great uncle was his specific term, but he great uncle, and so he passed away. He had stomach cancer for like, I don't know, 18 months or something. So like, it wasn't a surprise, but it's her only living relative, so it's been rough for her. And so she's finally going to be coming back to the States, back to Michigan, and not in charge of a cancer-ridden person who's, that's an intense life to live, taking care of someone.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm gonna be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna come over and we can talk about this in the near future. And my aunt, she actually is she's finishing her seminary, and so I'm gonna invite her too, because why not? The last time I talked to her, she threw I'll never forget this. She actually threw what was his fucking The Wager. What's his name?
Penis McGee.
No, who's? It's the Basic Wager. Like, you should believe in God just in case.
Oh, Pascal's.
Pascal. She threw Pascal's wager at me. She's like, hey, you know what? Hey, we just finished Thanksgiving dinner, but you know what? There's always the question of she didn't say Pascal wagers. It's like, well, what's the harm if you just believe, just in case, and there's nothing. And I was like, oh wow, really? You're gonna throw Pascal's wager at dessert time? And I gave her just a pile of examples of like, and it's just like, ugh. And so, I asked her. I said, well, she's going through seminary. She's getting her degree. And I asked her, it's like, well, what is your response to the biblical text, specific response, or the specific text that says that all the saints rose from the crypts and came into Jerusalem, and the people spoke with him, or spoke with them when Christ rose and the sheet or the flag tore or whatever it was. And so I had the specific text and the quotations, and she's like, oh well, I don't know about that one. I'm gonna have to get back to you. And I was like, what do they teach you in the seminary? Like, really, what are they going over? I mean, she was in Iowa, so it's a pretty specific place, but I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to go with you, the whole group at the same time. I'm taking my my skeptical Bible with me, and we'll see how that goes.
You gotta like that.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. That's one of the cool things about like those grandparents and my aunt. Like, she's going through the seminary, and my grandfather and grandmother, they're very religious, but they don't attack me about the religious aspect. They're more like, we know you don't believe, and we think you're wrong, and but that isn't like an attack. So I don't know.
That's crazy.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. We have conversations, and at the end of the conversation, nobody's pissed. So like I can't really find any fault in that. But either way, it's one. I got to crash. I keep getting messages from the wife. She's like, "Come upstairs and go to bed." So I'm gonna go to bed. I got to get up in the morning and
You're gonna go
do my Saturday work.
You should record yourself getting laid.
Well, that's what cell phones are for, right? We can put it on the cloud and get hacked.
No, you're not gonna get hacked. We're gonna put it on YouTube.
YouTube's got privacy policies against that. They don't want to see that shit.
They might. You never know.
Yeah, they probably don't. Oh, they might in Japan because they want to see everything in Japan.
Could be. They want to see Jesus.
Yeah. I don't think they do. I think they want to see teriyaki chicken grilled on electric skewers.
Oh, I love that shit.
I love the fact that they can cook free range chicken and stuff like that. Make skewers and like cook half of it and leave the other side raw and not be afraid that it's going to be filled with salmonella and death. That's amazing.
It never is.
In the U.S., it usually isn't, but there's still that creepy chance that it is, and it sucks. I wish it was a little bit more regulated. Well, dude, that'd be actually a cool topic. We can talk about like food poisoning and like legitimacy about all the worries about throwing food out on the expiration date or just after it, stuff like that. That could be a cool concept for a show. We talked about doing food stuff in the past.
Oh yeah, we should.
Yeah, cool. Well, either way, I'm gonna get up, crash, and take care of this freaking evening, and I don't know. We'll talk tomorrow or something for the show.
All right, peace out.
See ya.